All right. And so a meditation you can repeat during these times of expansion. It's important to gather new energy, to receive from your optimal future self that which is required for the change that is occurring, and to do so more consciously allows you to be more awake. Beautifully so. All right. And so we turn to this group for questions. Is Patricia here?
Uh, Patricia.
Yes, I'm here. Oh, John, you're
Yes.
Yeah,
here.
I'm okay.
It's so wonderful to hear your voice, John.
Yeah, nice.
All right. And so, dear one, where do we begin?
So I worked with um, a crisis process today, Tar. All kinds of things are happening. I just had my car towed. It's been variously functional now for about 6 weeks, and because of problems with it, I missed an art show, etc. And I've been sick, and I was diagnosed with something like pneumonia. It wasn't really a definite diagnosis, but the radiologist said, well, there are some pneumonia like threads in her left lung. I don't know what that meant, but there it was. And I am so tired. I have like a couple of hours of energy, and then I have to sit down. Um, so lots of things are breaking down, car, me physically. So I've been, in the last 6 weeks, I've spent a lot of time just in my house, in not going anywhere. And I've actually enjoyed a good amount of that time because I'm doing more of the inner work. But I'm really worried about what's going to fall apart next. I'm not able to move forward with a kitchen project that I've been talking about for almost a dozen years now. And I finally have somebody I think would do a nice job. And and I don't know what to do with this car if it's so serious. I mean, the price of cars today is just crazy. And then, and so everything says no. You know, everything is saying no. I want to do something with my savings so that my money makes money with itself, right? Oh, but no, don't do that. Oh, no, don't, it's like this no, 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 no going on in my head. And then these physical and mechanical things are saying no, just no forward motion. So I'm afraid of what's going to happen next. And then I know people who are dropping dead, um, kind of not intimately, but I know their acquaintances, and they're just here today and gone tomorrow. And then my brother is still lingering, and that's very painful for him, but also for his immediate caregivers, not caretakers, not yet, but caregivers. And I get waves of grief over that and crazy thoughts like I wish I'd known him better. Maybe I could have supported him and he wouldn't have had so much pain in his life. And I know that's not true. Um, so just how do I stop the avalanche of losses? And also I feel my friendships are changing. I'm I'm feeling like closer to some people, more distance from others, and that's very uncomfortable. So where am I supposed
Right. Yes. So as you are slowing reality down, things are breaking down. You are sensing that this isn't the right time to move forward. Things are slowing you down. Your slight case of pneumonia, for instance. But tell us more about what the inner work that you have focused on instead. What treasures have you discovered in this time of slowing down?
Well, that's a great question. So I feel like I'm being led to listen to different discussions, different Lazarus discussions. A standout was participating in your great work. Because one of the things I've been beating myself up about is, well, you didn't have any goals for the future. What are your goals? What are your goals? And a couple of things popped up. One in a tape about winning, where Lazarus talks about, once you satisfy your physical, emotional, intellectual needs and all that stuff, and you know how to work your magic, well, then there's a big so what? Because you're at the edge of everything, every goal you thought you wanted to achieve. And then there's like this big void. So where do you go next? And the next goals are spiritual goals. And the gap between the two, Lazarus is talking about, you will go into martyrhood. And yeah, okay, I'm there. And but anyway, another really standout related to that one was I was guided to listen to what about your great work. And this was a series of magic times. And it's not what I thought, and yet it is what I thought. So the great work that people were talking about, like one person talked about, he said, people don't know how to laugh and have fun. And he said, so I think my great work is to somehow put something together where they can access that. And somebody else, their great work was some other kind of thing. It's not like the goal is to jump over that fence. It's not like that. It's more esoteric. So I'm realizing, okay, so my goal, and it's new, but it's not new at all, is to help people shift their perspective, to just stop for a moment and, oh, as somebody said to me many years ago, your work makes people think in ways that they hadn't before. And that's my great work. So it's not whether or not I get the book written, or it's not whether or not I do the next painting. It's what's behind that is the message behind that. Stop and think and reflect in a different way on your life. That makes it too big, but that's it, really.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. And
So
you
that's
see how that is a part of who you are. So it's not as though you have to become something different. You can become more of who you truly are. And in that expression, you have more impact, your broader impact. You have the opportunity to change reality.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And then the other things I've been working with are the dark shadow and really seeing my arrogance and punishing nature and stuff. The darkness and owning it. And then today I work with the crisis process because of the
All
car.
right. And so let's just pause for a moment there so that we can clear up some misunderstandings.
Thank you.
So the dark shadow is a gift from soul that holds pieces of you that you set down.
Yeah.
The light shadow comes from the future, bringing new gifts that you didn't even know you needed. But the dark shadow holds pieces that you thought, well, I just won't be nice. I'll hold on to my anger and I just won't be nice, or I will suffer so that someone else doesn't, or I will suffer so that they know I'm angry.
Yeah.
But what gets put in the shadow is the light and the love that you are. What the dark shadow is holding isn't the terrible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It might be holding intensity, it might be holding passion, but more likely it's holding sacred the love, the intensity of love that you feel, or the genius that you are. So as you look to see, where have I diminished myself? What was safer to be than to be who I am?
Yeah.
And so those are the aspects that you go to soul. You go to soul, and soul presents dark shadow. The dark shadow comes often looking as though it is clothed in black, could be faceless, could be nameless, an archetype, but it is a part of your soul that was there to tend to you, to protect what is sacred, and has gifts for you, has gifts that where you see, you go meet with your child and you find the child set something down in a moment of rage or pain or shame.
Yeah.
Or could be tremendous fear for some of you. And you see it happen. You see, oh my gosh, she decided never to speak a truth, or she decided never to show people what she really felt, or she decided her love was too powerful, so she better not show it in all of its glory. Whatever it is, your child will let you know, and you will see it happen. And then with higher self and dark shadow, you restore the light of that back to your child and back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And once that is restored, that child can be the free child, can be free of that pain of the past. And you allow her to be nurtured, to be with parents, idyllic parents who love her unconditionally. We understand that is not the way of the world. It is not humanly possible to be a perfect, unconditionally loving person. However, your child can have whatever she wants in her reality. And it is necessary for her to be unconditionally loved.
Mm-hmm.
Just as you understand, oh, my higher self loves me unconditionally, will never abandon me. My soul, a part of me, an essential part of me, the love, the light that I am, loves unconditionally. And when I'm connected to higher self and soul, I reach towards unconditional love. I understand as I receive it, I'm able to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Not perfectly, but to the best of my current ability. And I understand the difference between being truly loving and having conditions.
Yeah, what I was discovering about that is that unconditional love is not following all the love rules perfectly. It's really, for me anyway, it's primarily, for the entree is to understand, to be understanding of the other person or parts of myself or just my relationship with myself. It's to understand, meaning to, for lack of a better, walk in that other individual's shoes, to really gain perspective on why they are where they are. And this is coming up right in my face today, actually. A friend of mine is going through something with his son, and his son is telling him, you never did this for me. You never did that for me. You never, never, never. And I recall a time when, and that's not true, but that's the son's perspective. And I was recalling a time when I had a similar conversation with my mother. And I was like, oh my God. And really, I genuinely then thought about all she did do for me and how much of she really sacrificed a lot to be a mother. That was her choice, but I just saw it from an entirely different perspective of understanding and compassion. It was just wild. Talk about wanting to shift, right?
Yes,
So,
well, beautiful. And what that shows you, which you may not have let in, is that you did shift. You
yeah,
did heal what needed to be healed so that then you could see. You were no longer stuck in your adolescent's pain or your child's pain.
yeah,
By healing it, you then had this new perspective. And so when it shows up in your reality, you allow it to be feedback that, oh, wow, I I recognize that, but I am not that anymore. And I can respond differently now.
mm,
And as you did, you applied it to your mother and allowed yourself to really, truly appreciate. And appreciation is a generating energy, a sense of gratitude for
mm,
all that she must have experienced in order to provide what she did
yeah,
in whatever the limited reality was at that time. Now, you're not going to leave the world in the same place your child entered. You're a map maker magician. You're here to transform the world so that as new generations are born into the onto the earth, into the earthly plane, that you are creating a different resonance for them, one where they can be loved,
yeah,
one where they can be honored for what they bring as a soul,
mm,
so that they have parents who have that perspective already, who have healed their inner child, who have healed their inner adolescence, and can truly be not perfect parents,
right.
but
Mhm.
can demonstrate love and compassion
Yeah.
and can listen differently.
Mm. And that's something else I got in touch with too, just speaking of my child and adolescent. There's in everything I've been processing for weeks and weeks, months, my martyr comes up and says, it's not fair to me. I mean, screaming, not fair to me. And I say, okay, what's not fair? It's just not fair to me. And then turns into my 6-year-old. And I got just today, she's so where the core of my anger is. And my anger must be so obvious to people because they've been saying, you're not so angry as you. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I got what the anger was about. And I just let myself voice it today. And it's what some of the things you said that I resent. This is what was coming out today. I resent having to change the world. I don't want that job because I don't have what I want yet. And it's not fair to me. And that was the key. But that's backwards because as I create what I want in my world, I am changing the world. I am being loving. But that's not what the child me or what a lesser part of me is believing. They're believing it's not fair to me that I have to take care of, women's issues and this and that and the homelessness and I have to do all that when I haven't created more of the life that I want for myself. But that's never really been the message. That's
So
back.
as you went into the source of the resentment and you got down to the pain that is there,
Yeah.
the rage, the anger, whatever it is
Mm.
expressed. Now, the 6-year-old does not have an awareness of those issues. She just needs whatever she needs in that moment, to be heard, to be seen, to be loved unconditionally, to get what she wants. I just need to know that I'm going to get what I want when I ask for it. I just have to, I need to know I'm powerful enough, that I'm
Yes.
good enough, that I'm worthy enough. So as you be with her and have your higher self be there to catch her and to help her go into whatever the trigger was, and then take her, with her permission, take her out of the situation and say, okay, it's done. What do you want now? You get to create whatever you want. It's your personal reality.
Mm.
What do you want in this moment? And you can ask for something totally different in the next one. You're not tied to what you ask for right now. Just answer whatever it is you want most right now and give her that skill to define what she wants next.
Yeah.
And then talk to her about desire and imagination and expectation, which she has in spades,
Mm-hmm.
but have her show you what
Yeah.
does it look like when she's desiring and imagining and expecting the positive outcome. And as you really let her be that for you, something shifts in you. Now, a lot of this you already know intellectually.
Yeah, but I don't at the gut level. It's
Well,
just
because it's her calling you back to her.
mhm.
So it shows up in you as adult resentments.
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
can I be responsible for anything more than just me? But as you took it to the source, oh, it's my 6-year-old. That's a very different scenario than the you right now, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And so it was her way through your feelings, your unconscious mind is directing you. Hey, these resentments, they can be valid, but you can say no, you're an adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what was underneath it, when you really truly listen to what was underneath it, it was a different voice. It wasn't your adult self.
No.
Oh my gosh, this 6-year-old is fierce, is very upset,
Yeah.
is really stuck. And it's affecting me now in this way, where I don't even know that I can create whatever I want. I'm too busy trying to figure out why I don't want to do this and this and this instead of choosing what do I want instead.
Mm-hmm.
So as you work with her, free her up from that situation. We know you know how to do all of this. So we're just really explaining it for everyone who's listening who hasn't done this yet. As you give her what she wants in a new reality, not in the same timeline you're in, not
Mm-hmm.
in your past. She needs to be moved to a parallel, ideal reality where she is free to be who she is and has the safety she requires. She's 6 years old. She needs parents who take care of her, who provide structure, who allow her to grow and develop and evolve into an adolescent and then eventually an adult. But your child will be in this child reality as an ideal, and she's going to teach you what it looks like to be truly free, to be fully loved, to be whole and complete, and to access her magic.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's a different relationship.
Yeah, because I can feel myself resenting her. You're in my way.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's going to continue to be in my way until she gets what she wants, as she should.
Really, it's really until she gets what she needs, and
Okay.
then she can get what she wants. And the same with the adolescent. So, first order of business is, what do they need? I need love. I need belonging. I need to be safe. Whatever it is, they will tell you what they need. And they might be angry at, well, you're not going to give it to me anyway, but this is what I need. And then you say, well, you're right. I can't give it to you, but my higher self can. My higher self is your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
And you can explain how powerful your higher self truly is. And as you explain it, you begin to get it yourself on another level. Oh my gosh, I have this powerful being supporting me invisibly throughout my life, and I don't even remember it. I
Right.
walk through life as though I'm all alone. As long as the child is not free and the adolescent is not curious, which is the state that the adolescent achieves after the belonging is answered, you walk alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the source of the martyrhood every time. And
Yeah.
so it's really a priority, as you have learned in this 6 weeks of exploration, for me to even want to think about what do I want in the future. I got to make sure they're okay.
Yes, because they don't want to go forward into a future because they believe it's just going to be more the same, or disappointment,
Well, yes.
or
And
because
so, unless they have that new reality where it has an optimal future as the outcome,
Mhm.
we completely get, what's the point? Why bother?
Why bother? Exactly.
Yeah. And so, interestingly, what you're uncovering is the why bother isn't about here and now, it's
Mhm.
about your child or your adolescent. And when you really let that in, oh my gosh, that's their signal to that I need to go be with them and spend a few moments, not
Mhm.
hours. We're just talking about moments here. Taking 2 minutes to go be with her and bring the higher self in and turn her over. Higher self, you know best. I'm kind of curious what you're going to do, so I might stick around for a minute or two longer. But essentially, giving your higher self permission to intervene is a gift you give yourself.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
And it's not because you're not enough. It's just that your higher self is that powerful. And your
And
higher
that,
self is part of you. And why wouldn't you delegate it to the most powerful part of you
mhm.
so that it can be done with elegance and ease and it can be right the first time? It doesn't have to be a guessing game. Oh my gosh, I guess I didn't heal my child right this time. Poor me. You can see how self sabotage can easily interrupt things if you're not involving your higher self,
Yeah,
because then you just don't know for sure if it got done. But once you really truly delegate to your higher self, of course it's going to get done right. There's no question about that. Does that help?
oh, you really tremendously. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I
And
think
you are
we,
so welcome. And we want to assure you that just as you deduced so beautifully, The illness isn't a serious illness. You're not going to just drop off suddenly without communing with soul first. So as you just okay, I did this intentionally. I needed to do this work. I needed to give myself permission. My vehicle was breaking down. It doesn't work anymore to continue in this way. And so you went to the source and you got the help that you needed. Working with Lazarus, working with the information in the magic times, talking with us, even just to verify, am I on track? Yes, you are. And you can do this. It's going to take 2 minutes.
Yes.
Or if you do both, the child and the adolescent. And as you really let that, oh my gosh, my perceptions have grown, have changed. I have healed enough because I see the issues out here now. They're not in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have compassion. That's how I know it's not my issue. Well, it is in that, oh, I resembled that in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not who I am anymore. And that's an important quality to let in. I have grown. I have changed. I am more than I was.
Yeah. And I see that I have that perspective on things whenever I've moved out of the set. I can see it. I can see what was true. As an
Absolutely.
I become an observer rather than that's me now. Yeah, it's very different.
Yes.
Mm.
Beautiful. All right. We love you so.
Thank you, Tara. I love you too. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, John, who is next?
Helen.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
Um, so things are going so well for me now that I I'm just there's a lot of loud noise in my head over little things. So at a dinner party last night, Harry interrupted me at one point after, Harry and the wife of the couple, like the two of them, whenever we get together, they talk, and the other husband and I mostly listen. And then finally, I had something to say, and Harry kept interrupting me after listening to him and this other woman for like 2 hours, and I finally just told Harry to shut up and stop interrupting me. But I mean, like, so things like that are bugging me. Or like we had another dinner party last week where somebody wanted to cook, but she ended up in the end, she needed me to like do all these errands to buy the stuff that like the harder ingredients that she needed. And so I ended up running all these stupid errands, but I'm like, she offered to cook. So like things are so great. This is what's bothering me in my life. But it's weird because the noise is really loud. And so I'm kind of looking for advice on that. But the other thing that I'm noticing is that I think I have this pattern of always, focusing on what's wrong. And so I've still got this habit of I'm still spending too much time focusing on what's wrong and not perfect. And when we were doing the meditation today, when I was doing the meditation today, um, what came up very loud for me in the beginning, like when you first asked what was bothering the child, I was in my bedroom, my childhood bedroom when I was about 7 years old. And I used to hide behind the bed when I was really upset. But I wasn't hiding under the bed. But I was on that side of the bed, just facing the blank wall. And I just didn't want anyone else. I wanted to be left alone. I didn't want anybody around me. And it was very similar with the adolescent when we went to visit the adolescent. I was walking in the woods and I just didn't want to be around anybody. And like right now, um, we've had this woman living as our housemate for almost the last year. and she's really bugged the shit out of me. She's driven me nuts. And and I've been trying to get kind of balanced about it where I don't like, I want her to move out, but I'm trying to get her like balanced where I don't care whether she stays or moves out one way or the other. And she's finally said she's leaving, but I feel bad about it. Like she's finally admitted she's leaving because she feels like she's outlived her welcome. When I'm like, yeah, like, yes. And but because she said she was leaving, I need to find some alternative for care, for pet care when we want to travel. And it's not been working out. And what I realized is like when we were starting the meditation this evening, is it was just very loud in my head. Like, I don't want anyone else in our space. I just want to be left alone. And it was that same feeling with the child and the adolescent and the meditation of, so I'm not even allowing us to find a pet sitter or house sitter or even a dog walker for Sandy because I just don't want anybody else in our space. I want to be left alone. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
So you've already answered your question, which is go, uh, what were you able to resolve the issues with the child and the adolescent during the meditation, or do you need to go back?
Well, it's interesting because, whenever I've um done a like when I'm working with a child or the adolescent and you want to and ask them if they want a new family and put them to the new family. Well, for the last year or so, I had originally created a new family for them like years ago. And there was a brief window where that worked and they were happy being in their new family. But what really ended up was they didn't even want to be on Earth. They didn't want to be with a new family. They wanted to be with their grandparents, which is God and Goddess, like not on Earth, like I don't know where they go. Like when they're very upset and I take them out of what's upsetting them, they usually go to their grandparents who enfold them in love and take them out of Earth. And so they actually haven't found a place where they're comfortable on Earth with a new family. The teenager has some friends that somehow she goes around with, and it feels like it's on Earth. I don't know how that works, whether she beams down. The child has her pets, like she has kittens and puppies and other animal friends, but she doesn't have any human friends. I think actually I haven't really healed their discomfort in being physical.
So then you would want to go to the original moment when that discomfort arrived. So it might be in infancy, it might be in the first day or two, maybe even in the womb. And so then it would be for your higher self and your soul to work with the child to talk about what this lifetime is for. What's important about you being here in the physical plane? What's going to be possible in this lifetime that is different from any other lifetime you have lived? So as you really let in, this lifetime is stacked with resources that you don't have in any other lifetime. So the magic, the metaphysics, the guidance from all the various sources that you gain guidance from, all of that was pre-arranged by you and your higher self and soul for this lifetime, because you are up to great things in this lifetime. To make those maps, to be the magician, to create a brand new world of dominion, all of that was decided before the lifetime. So then, in order to be here in the physical plane, it's important to address, when did she decide it's not safe? Now, there are probably many instances that reinforce that first impression. However, at a soul level, you're not being punished by being here. It was a soul choice to be here, but not a negative one, not for punishment. It was a luminous choice because of what you bring as a soul, the resonance you bring, the radiance that you bring, the magic that you bring, the perceptions, the ability to vision new realities, the empathy that you bring, all of that. And as you really let that be more real than the complaints and the pain. Now, it doesn't mean that we want to diminish the pain that you felt, but it served a purpose to heal all your lifetimes. That was the commitment that you made. It's not enough for just one lifetime to come home. I'm not going to go through all of this for just one lifetime. I'm going to bring all my lifetimes home because I can, because it's what I want, because I'm that powerful. I'm that magical. So when you really let that be the foundation of your magic and the purpose for the physical life, the child is willing to be healed because she did her part to bring to the surface the issues that you came to heal. And now she deserves to be free. Does she need to be on earth? Not really. She doesn't need to be on earth, but you need to be okay with being here if you're going to continue this journey. And we're not saying you have to. You can go meet with soul and write your exit script and all of that. We're not saying you should exit. What we're saying is you should meet with your soul and determine what makes it worth sticking around, to allow the continuation to be of being physical to be a luminous choice, which it always was intended to be. And you are not the only one who doesn't want to be here as far as your child goes or your adolescent, that the pain was so great that you really did think it was a viable choice to exit. And so energetically, you would exit. Now, we've spoken to you before about how you actually gained a lot of skill by doing so. You gained a new perspective, one that people who are only always physical don't have. And because you're here to work your magic, it gave you the ability to move in and out of worlds. And as you acknowledge that your child gave you that gift, oh, I really got something out of that. It wasn't all about pain. It wasn't only about suffering. It wasn't only about shame. Yeah, there was a lot that had to be healed. But she was really brilliant in how she dealt with it. She decided, oh, well, maybe I don't have to stay in the body and suffer as much. Maybe I can exit at will and then re-enter when it feels safe. And that is much of your childhood. And as you really appreciate her for what she taught you. However, as a spiritual adult, now you're standing before your reality saying, wait a minute, why am I creating situations that don't feel safe? Why am I not changing that environment? why do I prefer? And we know that you don't really prefer it, but you want to ask yourself it this way so that you really get that you don't prefer it. Why do I prefer feeling unsafe more often than not? And then the true self comes forward and says, well, that's ridiculous. Of course I want to feel safe. Of course I would prefer to create a reality where I am safe. And that's really important to prioritize. Now, the first part is for the child, but you've created the safety for your child. Well, I'll just have God Goddess come and take her away. Her grandparents who love her unconditionally. Perfect. Same with the adolescent. They don't have to be here. But don't confuse their choice with your commitment to transform reality in the physical plane as a magician, as a map maker. And we're not saying you have to do any of it. The higher truth is to get you to knowing that you do everything and anything based on choice. Your choice. Nobody's making you do anything. And you can set it down if you want. There are no requirements. Just as Patricia was talking about, well, I don't want to care about the homeless. I don't want to care about women's rights. Only because she's not getting what she needs. But if she can create it all magically and she can snap her fingers and homelessness is resolved and women have rights and have balance and have the willingness and the ability to speak out and not be punished for it, why wouldn't you dream that dream? When all it takes is your imagination and your willingness, your magic. So you see, once you understand your magic is choice and much more, but it begins with choice. Now you don't need the martyrhood. Now you don't need to avoid an unsafe environment because you're going to do what you need to do to set the boundaries that create the safety in the first place. Now, what you've decided is I've allowed too much to impact me from outside of me. I need to shore up my vibration. I need to fill myself with my light, with my love from soul, and push it out so that I have a boundary out here and not inside of me, where I'm constantly bombarded. Now that's energy work. That's taking responsibility for your space, your energetic space. And when that space is filled with love, that's what you share with the world. And it is an attractor. Your love does attract others to you. They want more of it. They love being around you. But your responsibility is to fill yourself up first. Otherwise, you get depleted and it ends up out here, outside of you. And then the question to ask is, what is my source of love? Because if it's being depleted, it is not coming from source. It's coming from earning it, helping, being nice, compensating for others, doing their share, or giving away something of yourself. As you really let that in, oh my gosh, that's a recipe for disaster. I'm looking at a depleted future. I better figure out how to connect up and start making that my priority every day. And when we say that, we mean it. There should be no moments of disconnection. It won't be perfect. You have to learn how to do it consistently. We know that you know how to do it. And we also know that you, as you said, my life is going so well. And that tells you that you know how to do that connecting. Now the question becomes, why am I stopping? Why am I turning to my lesser self strategies, and why am I disconnecting? Because when you disconnect, the lesser self has to step in. And the lesser self strategies are not good enough for the spiritual adult. They are strategies developed in the child and in the adolescent. They are incapable of handling adult realities. They were shamed into handling adult realities. So some of those strategies look really good to adults, but they're not. They're not fulfilling. They don't secure the safety. They don't allow you to be loved and loving. They only allow you to love as a means of control. So as you really let in, oh my gosh, I have diminished myself. I need to set a line in the sand and say, stop. I deserve to be connected, to allow myself, the spiritual adult, what I gave my child and my adolescent. But I have work to do here. I choose to create reality consciously. Otherwise, why bother being here? And when you're doing it successfully, as you often are, life is fun. That's how you know you're on track. There's more love in your life as well. That's how you know you're on track. And you're also more authentic, willing to speak your truth, knowing that when you speak up, you're not going to be punished. See, part of what's happening is you're being triggered into old, lesser self patterns. As you really let that in, oh my gosh, I didn't value myself enough in the first place. And now I'm resentful. And that makes me the martyr. I deserve to punish them for what I withheld from me. Who does that remind you of? Somebody in your childhood played
My
that.
mother,
Yes.
maybe my mother.
Whoever it was that was the punisher.
Yeah.
So the child doesn't learn it from nobody. It's not the child's natural state to be a martyr.
Right.
The natural state is joy, is love, is fun, is happiness. It was a survival. That was how your mother survived. And your child learned it, learned how to compensate for it too, because of course, anything that you have in your environment as a child, you also learn to adapt to it. That's why it's the adaptive child. And as you look to see, okay, when somebody looks that way out here, how do I deal with it? But as you learned along the way, the dark shield that's built by all these strategies, when it turns on its side, the shame flows through all the layers. And now you're bad and wrong for adapting, and you're bad and wrong when you do the same actions that you defended yourself against, and you're bad and wrong for defending against. It's a no-win
Yeah.
game. The only way to heal it is to have the shame lifted first, which you have done. You have been working very diligently. And anytime you feel not good enough, or I don't have it, I don't deserve, or I don't feel worthy, or whatever comes up in the face of wanting more love, wanting more freedom, wanting more self-expression, whatever it is, as the spiritual adult, if there's any sense at all that you aren't going to get it or you can't have it, ask your higher self to lift the shame and give it back to the source, the point of origin. Might not have started with your mother, might have started from one of her family members or way down the line, might have started from society as well. Well, that's just the way what women had to do to survive. How many of you have heard this and have had it ingrained in you as well? We don't really have a choice. We just do what we need to do to survive. Now, those of you who have healed so very much of your own shame and have restored the feminine energy, you cringe when you hear those words. How can we not have come further than that by now? And as you recommit to healing the last bit in yourself, the vestiges of chauvinism, it can be done out here. It can be ended in your world. Not tomorrow. Don't be a martyr. Don't think there's something wrong with you because you didn't fix it yet. You have already freed the world so very much, and there's more freedom required. There's more healing required, more lifting of shame required. But as you have healed so very much, just as Patricia was able to really see, oh my gosh, I can see it in others now, and I can feel compassion for my mother. As you really let it be done, you will have a similar response. Not the same, because your situation is uniquely yours, but you will be able to understand with compassion. It changes with you. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much, Tor.
Yeah, so you're not going crazy. These little nagging thoughts and feelings are coming up for a reason, because you are wanting more. You want to be more free. You want to be more loving. You want to receive more of life. But in order to do so, your child and your adolescent are tapping you on the shoulder saying, take care of me. Take care of that last little bit. That didn't happen at 7, but started much earlier. So as you go sit with the 7-year-old on the bed and say, what's so interesting about that wall? She might say, leave me alone. And you can say, I can totally relate to that. It's what I want to do right now in my life. But as you get to the core moment of when she felt like she really couldn't deal with the energies, you can begin to see and thank her for her clever answers. The teaching herself how to lift out of the physical body. and how to know how to sense the safety and come back in. So you see, these interactions with child are not always bad. It's not always about fixing what's wrong. There needs to be more attention given to how smart she really was to survive her environment, and how you appreciate what she gave you, because it helps you now. You're more discerning, you're more capable, you're more magical as a result. And so we'll leave you with that, because we don't want you to think you have to go back to the child because there's something only wrong. There isn't. But if there is, then call upon your higher self.
Thank you, Tara.
All right. We love you so. All right, John, who is next?
Monica.
All right. She available?
Mm. Mm. Yep, she's available.
Hi, Tara.
There you are. Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
Thank you so much for love and guidance, and I missed you during this period. Some things came, but as always, strive for positivity. Always having the beautiful time you have, and what you were saying earlier, very interesting. And I know that the universe is a high frequency, and you're speaking a high frequency, and anyone that listens, what Tara says is that's just what you heard before. It's just based on lower frequency energy, and you got to learn how to think, not to think so much, but learn from what Tara teaches. Thank you for teaching it to us. Besides that, I have now my question, because I do try my best to not have a lot of dialogue. Enjoying the planet, enjoying the earth, enjoying people coming. Just always good interactions. That's how I see it. But sometimes, again, what is good and bad. But again, I look at it as, okay, consciously, I gotta think closely here. After all, safety is important to I and to others and to the planet. The planet also really has the right to be safe. Anyway, Tara, my question is that my friend, I'm gonna speak on my love interest. He I think maybe he's vibrating on love or something, because he is literally, there were some individuals that were messing with him, and he's literally taking them all to the court. And I'm in shock. I'm in shock in that. But I am pleased, because it's low frequency, and they look at it, and is also providing safety for others. And he just has a lot of courage. And I just want to let you know that, congratulate, and the universe congratulate, and I found someone who like pleasing me on something that I know that I would do, and I have done before. I've done many times. Is there any input on this information on my love interest? I mean, we're still there, but he's just an amazing individual, person, human, and I believe he's vibrating on your frequency, and I know you'll touch his heart. Your beautiful love touches humanity and the planet. Thank you.
All right. And so it always comes back to you as you allow yourself to know that you are loved already, and that your love matters, and that the quality of loving that comes through you is good enough. As you hold the vision for yourself, okay, what's important about me being in a loving relationship? That's sounds like, well, that's obvious, isn't it? So that I get more love. And that will be true. But also, as you allow your relationships to be more about being loving, you being loving, not from a place of needing love, as we spoke with Helen, that need to be connected first before you flow the love. You have to fill up first from source, from God Goddess, as you allow that love to enter through your crown and then descend down into your heart space and open and fill your heart. And then to allow it to also filter lower, because all of that emotion that is sitting here, the uncertainty, the should I be powerful? Am I being too powerful? Am I being too much? Those are all old programs, we assure you, that come from your child being told that. And that's where the shadow work comes in, where you sit with soul and you allow your shadow to gift you back whatever was set down, whether it was intensity, whether it was speaking your truth, whether it was the love itself. Some of you have hidden the love in your shadow. It's so precious to you, and it should be, that you don't really want to share it. You don't want to show it. You are okay getting it, but letting people really benefit from your love. Well, what if they steal it? What if they hurt me? What if they trample on it? What if they humiliate me? If those thoughts are there, you need to go back to the child and heal the child whose love was not good enough for whatever environment was there. And so we're just bringing this up, not just for you, Monica, but also for the group that is listening, for those of you who are very reserved in sharing love. When you start really letting in, wait a minute, I have no freedom around being loving. I create my own reality, but not in this area. This relationship area is sort of this anomaly. I create my reality everywhere else, but not here. And as you really let in how silly that sounds, and how we don't want you to then deduce that you don't create your own reality. No, what we want you to do is to insist, hey, I create my own reality pretty well over in these areas. So I'm going to add this section that has been problematic for me. And I'm going to ask my higher self and my soul to work with me on healing relationships. Because I'm here having a physical experience. And how do I know I'm physical? I have communion with others. I have community. I have relationship. I have discussions. I share my thoughts, my ideas. Not everyone has to agree with you. That would not be a very interesting world if everybody thought and felt exactly the same thing all the time. You would get bored really quickly. And so as you allow the contrast to be more comfortable, oh, I can say what I think, and they either will agree or not agree. But if they disagree, I might be curious to ask, well, what do you think? And I still don't have to agree with them. I can still hold my thoughts as my own, and I can be curious about what their thoughts are. So this is about lifting judgments, and judgments are there for only one reason. They are to push emotion down so that you don't have to feel what's really there. It's a form of attempting to create safety, a strategy devised by the child or the adolescent. And the problem with judgments, as you push emotion down beneath the surface so that you're not even aware you have them, people with those emotions come at you. Angry people, frustrated people, scared people, lonely people, whatever is stuffed down comes at you. So as you take stock of, okay, what's in my environment? What kind of people are triggering me? Maybe I need to go and spend a few minutes with my own emotions so that I'm more free to be available to the higher end emotions. Because when there's judgment about other emotions, the lower end of the stick, the anger, the fear, the martyrhood, whatever is down there, the despair, the sorrow. Some people have sorrow that goes on for days, and it can be uncomfortable. But if they're in your reality, look to see, what's my own sorrow? What do I need to end? Where do I need to make peace? Where do I need to become whole and complete? Does that help?
Yes, Tara, it's beautiful. I do want to ask you another thing. The planet possible may be more off balance. Who was voted here in this, in the U.S. I'm not sure it's going to go through. He wants to take away protecting the animals, endangered animals that live in this planet. This commander, and because of money development, and there is a lot of development in this planet. There's a lot of open buildings around, and every beautiful state in the United States, it's a great place to be. And I feel that if people are not happy where they're at, they can leave. They can just leave to their territory. Anyone around the world, let's just stay within your territory, because it's supposed to be peace everywhere in every nation. That's the way I see it. But it's impossible, right? Because we got some things going on from the beginning of time. They don't get it, but that's their life. I respect their decisions, but stay in your territory. Anyway, my thing is, I'm hoping that it does. I'm hoping it doesn't not go through. And I just want information on that. What is your thought on that?
Okay, so we're going to speak a bit of the metaphysics behind creating your own reality. So when you're hoping something doesn't happen, it's important to visualize, what does it look like if it goes the way you want it to go? So what would be possible for the animals? What would they look like? What would their experience be? How would it be different? Certainly you filled your imagination already with the negative, the fearful thought. And that's a positive thing, because you're very clear, this is not what I want. But you don't want to stop there. That doesn't keep you from creating a negative reality. What adds to an alternate reality is adding your imagination and your desire to what you do want instead. So you identify what you don't want, which you clearly stated, and now you begin the more conscious process of desiring, imagining, and expecting a different outcome. Now, is there a guarantee that you will get what you want because you do this? No. Is there a guarantee that the negative outcome will come about? No. Which one do you believe more of? Is it easier for you to believe that someone will strip the rights away? And if so, what is that based in? Or is it easier to believe that goodness, truth, and beauty can prevail? And if so, what do you believe about reality and your part in it, you see? A lot of times it comes down to, are you aware that you make a difference? Are you willing to know that you matter and you're generating energy and resonance towards what you want will tip the balance and change the reality? It may not be 100% what you say you want, but it will be towards what you want. Many of you have shifted reality in an instant around many things. And we know that you have that ability. You may not have great skill yet, but we encourage you to exercise it on these things that matter to you. Because at the end of the day, how you feel about yourself and the part you played in the change matters. Does that help?
It's very beautiful, Tara. As you were speaking, I was thinking of the planet, and I do want to bring it up to y'all's team and Scott, the universe, that the M God, is doing that with the animals, and there's orbits flying, and I hope they never fall into the earth plane. And if he is a walking up, this is Earth, and they have not done their job to protect the planet. Okay.
Okay,
They're
so
not
again, this is a great instance of giving away your power to another authority. So anytime, and we understand why you're doing it, you say the word they, suddenly reality is not coming from you, but is coming at you from outside of you. So it's important to know, oh, okay, wait a minute, I stopped creating my own reality as soon as I figured out who the bad guy was. Now, we're not saying don't do that. You're going to do that automatically. For things that matter, you're always going to scan for what's the danger. It's a healthy quality to have. But as we said before, you don't want to stop there. You want to see the world as you want it to be. So, first of all, we want to reassure you that the earth is not powerless. And once you let that in, that earth has a consciousness, is a co-creator with you of reality. Your intimate creation, your most intimate co-creation with earth consciousness is your own physical body. A communion of your soul and the earth, an agreement. As you let in how powerful earth is, and that at the end of the day, it's a co-creation. The earth is not a victim here. Now, there can be many things done that can be harmful in the here and now. But in time, all wounds heal. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't advocate for change or that you shouldn't be the change that you want to see. As you really participate in bringing forth, wait a minute, if Earth is powerful, and there's all these interesting things happening, tectonic plates shifting, earthquakes, volcanoes, fires, there's all sorts of mayhem when you really, if you just add up the things that are happening at the earth consciousness level, there's plenty of balancing going on. The question is, you have all this excess energy available to you. Are you going to diminish it by deciding the earth isn't very powerful, or are you going to accept the gift of energy that the earth is providing for you to create reality differently? To take that energy and funnel it through you, ground it, and flow the purity of energy into causes that you see need help, whether it's the ocean creatures, whether it is the Middle East, whether it is your personal backyard, whether it is in the realm of laws and politics. You can flow that energy and see it transforming reality co-creatively with Earth. And what would be the difference? How would you know it is different? Because you don't just complain about what's going to happen. You want to create the next step. That's how you know you have impact. As you really let yourself be that active in your visualizing, that active in, and we know that you do because of your connection, your, I see the bigger picture, I see what's happening. That information is coming to you because your ability to change it. It's not coming to you so that you feel bad and so that you feel powerless. Your higher self is saying, Monica, look over here. We can make a difference there. Our love and our light can make a difference. And when you let that be who you are, and that is who you are becoming, we see it quite clearly that you are a strong advocate for change. You are a strong advocate for love and light, but not to stop at identifying the problem. Be a part of dreaming the solution. That is who you are. All right, beautiful. We love you so. And thank you for being willing to listen.
It's beautiful, Taro. Thank you for your time. Gorgeous time. Thank you.
Yes, we love you so. All right, and who is next? Christina, we believe.
Christina. Yes, Christina.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Wow, this is so fascinating because a lot of what Patricia and Helen brought up are kind of the issues that I've got going on. It feels like, yeah, I have a fabulous life. And yet there does seem like there's all this continual derailment, like I'm creating these problems to solve that just seem unnecessary. And they're just kind of like a passion stealer trickster, just taking away the fun and the passion and the ability to do what I want to do. And I feel like there's something that I'm missing. And yeah, there is also this sort of sense of, do I really want to still be here? Because it's just too hard. Because the stuff just keeps on coming at me, and I know I'm doing it. And I really, a lot of what you were saying about, I've been dealing a lot with adult shame and seeing how so much of it is looking like shame and martyr, and just a lot of what you are talking about is the way that I have been working through it. I do feel like I might be over the hump. I'm not sure. So I feel like it's a great to be able to just take an opportunity here and ask you. The question inside of me has been, what am I missing? What am I not hearing that I need to hear, that especially when things repeat, like part of it is I create these transactions that always have like a little um, misunderstanding, and I feel cheated. There's a whole bunch of transactions like that. And then the other problem type repeat is bullies manipulating me and not really, and then I'm standing up for myself, thinking that that's what I need to do, work my boundaries, but then I get bullied again. So what? And then I feel like others, I want to do business differently. I want to do business in the new world way, creating co-ops and helping people, um, giving them opportunities, things like that. But then it just, kicks back in my face. So, and so then there's this side of me that just, I could really relate to this idea of as a child, just escaping into my world of creativity and imagination and just being in that place full of happiness and joy. And I love that. That's my place. But right now I'm just having a hard time getting to that place of serenity, and I'm just like asking, yeah, do I really want to still be here? Um and I love the way that you said, well, talk to your soul. See if there's, if it's worth it still, because we're basically finished and done. So anyway, that's what's going on with me. And
It is a point of, for many of you, you have come to the point where you have done good work. You have made the maps you came to make. You brought in the new world. The new world is not here yet. Now it's a commitment to, do you want to be part of designing that new world? Do you want to work with the optimal future self who's already in dominion in that new world? There is no obligation, you see. That work that you signed up for coming into this lifetime is done, is completed. Each of you on some level are aware, yeah, I'm here by choice now. Do I really want to be here? What would make it worthwhile what would be important for me to create next that would allow me to know I create my own reality? And that is a question you aren't going to answer tonight, but we do want you to know that the sabotage is coming up because you're at that outer boundary of belief. So you have a basket of beliefs that create your current reality. Do you work with Lazarus, for instance?
oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So you're aware of the raw materials and the tools
Yes.
of creation.
Oh yes.
And with beliefs being creating the matrix of what you currently experience. When you're at a boundary of belief, you bump up against constricting beliefs that don't serve you, that in order for you to be on the other side into the future you said you wanted, you have to give these up. So they show up as limited versions of you that can't fit through the door to the new opportunity where you have to express more of who you are. Does that make sense? So, for instance, if
yeah.
you hold that, nobody listens to me. But through the doorway into the future, you're someone who's well spoken and you're being free to be yourself, and you have all these great ideas and you're creating all this wonderful stuff. Now that you doesn't have an issue with people listening, does she?
Right.
Does that make sense? We want to use a fairly simple example, which may not be true for you, but will get you to where you need to go. So there's some version of you that has been comfortable, but doesn't serve you anymore. So let's use the bullies as an example so you have something to sink your teeth into. I keep creating people bullying me. Well, who is the person who gets bullied? We'll just simplify it and say, in general, it's a victim. But if you're creating your own reality, and you do it very well. As you started out, I can totally relate. Things are going really well, except for these instances that make me wonder, what am I missing? So the victim is not part of who you are becoming. The victim was the lesser self strategy that the child or the adolescent chose, as that's safer than being powerful. That's safer than being seen. That's safer than having impact. We're just picking some things for you to think about. You pick the ones that are right for you. Look to who you're becoming for the clue to what needs to be let go of. What doesn't fit through the door? What is too big a part of the old image that keeps you from being that new you. Now, some of you have done image work with great success around this. Sometimes all you need to do is recognize, I keep creating these bullies. Maybe I have a definition of being powerful that's combined with bullying. So I can't be powerful because I don't want to be a bully. But what if there are bullies and then there's power? And I know what true power looks like because I've experienced it. It's when I'm in my magic, when I'm creating consciously, when I'm connected with my higher self. And I said, this is how my day's going to go. And boom, 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 everything just lays out and plays out exactly the way I want. But if power and bullying are still married, you will tell yourself, I will not pick up my power because I don't want to be a bully. That's how important it is to you to create in dominion. But there is power in dominion. You can set down the idea, the definition of power as bullying. That's not true power. That's domination. As you say, no, I want power in dominion, not power over others. Now you're aligning yourself with values you actually hold. And now you're free to move forward. But as long as you keep power and bullying together as one and the same, and there's plenty of examples in your world of that. So it's not as though that's been healed completely in your world. But we would say, because you see it out here, you can be sure that you've dealt with it within yourself. Now it's a choice to separate out the bullying. I'm not being powerful, having impact for no reason. I'm having impact because I want to know I matter. And when I connect the soul, I can let that mattering flow in and I can be powerful because it's not me, my ego, saying what I want to create. It's me, my higher self, and my soul co-creating a new world. And that matters to me. And I'm willing to have impact. Now, you may say, well, I don't really want to have impact because impact is bad. Impact is negative. Impact looks like somebody beating me up. Then that needs to be cleaned up. That having positive impact can be the consequence you create. And that means dealing with the fears of the child and the adolescent around having negative impact. The child may have learned, hey, be quiet. Or you don't speak up for what you want. You're not going to get it anyway. Or whatever it was, whatever the conditions were around impact, as you go and look to see, what did I decide? What did I put in my shadow? Or I've already retrieved all that. I know exactly where I stand. I do want to have impact, but now I'm at a loss for how to go forward. So that would imply, so when you know you've done the work, and we would suggest you've done 99.9% of it. So just take those smidgens of what we've said tonight as the work that is left to do. And there isn't a lot. The real work now is connecting with the optimal future self. and blending with their energy, receiving the gift from the light shadow, and really claiming your right to a new vision. The optimal future you is not just any you. It is the most positive version of you, the one that has changed and transformed the negativity, the one that isn't limited in ways that you know yourself to be currently limited. They have gone beyond that. They have transformed. She has transformed herself into someone new. That is an embodiment of all that matters to you. That is in alignment with soul, in alignment with God, Goddess. As you really let that in, oh my gosh, there's the most positive version of me living life in the physical plane. Now, some of you want to know, well, when's my soul going to come for me so I can have that final face of soul? And you can check that out. You can go explore. Hey, what is my life going to be like? What's my death script? What's my old aging script? And some of you really, no, I'm done. But we want you to check with soul, because your soul determines that exit. Just as much as you have the ability to apply choice to your exit, when you can create it as a beautiful, transcendent moment of consciousness, which is your plan for this lifetime. Or you wouldn't have brought in all these resources on this journey. You came here knowing this lifetime is the one I am going to be conscious. I'm going to choose my reality. And beyond creating reality is co-creating in dominion, communing with soul and higher self, and choosing when that will be, and choosing what's worth exploring in the meantime. So if you're at a loss for what you want to do, and we're not saying you are, because you already mentioned a few things you're up to that are beautiful and worth pursuing. As you let that be a focus of attention, okay, higher self, you know what? Remove these obstacles. Help me see what needs to be seen so that I can get on with the fun of living life. And when you interact with your higher self and your soul with that directness, you will get responses. Many of you know, oh my gosh, I worked my magic. It worked. Oh my gosh, I better not do that again. And yet you're here to do exactly that. You're here to revisit, what of my magic have I been avoiding? Because if I were really to know, I create my own reality. If there's shame, you will be worried. Oh my God, I created all this shit. No. Allow that shame to be lifted, to know that you are not alone. Your higher self and you and your soul are co-creating reality. And when you truly co-create consciously, you do it anyway. But this is about doing it consciously. standing in your value, knowing you matter, knowing that the difference you make will have positive consequences because you're going to create it that way. You're going to be more free to choose whatever is next. And when your time is right, meaning when you and your soul agree, you know, I've tested myself enough in the physical plane. I've had so much fun. I have had a glorious life. I'm ready for whatever's next. Those of you who have chosen this to be your last physical lifetime, you want to let that be real. What if I never come back to have a physical experience? Maybe this experience is unique in a way that I told myself I want to explore and get the most out of. Something to consider. All right, we love you so. And that will be on the recording so you can revisit it.
Could you just mention a little bit more about, I love this idea of the belief that you were talking about regarding a dominion type of power versus the domination as bully. Why am I bringing in the trickster with all these transactions? When I purchase something, a service, it really does seem like almost everyone, some things.
So what we sense there to the area to work in is definitions around money, the exchange of money, more so than certainly the being cheated, the transaction, the nature that it's a transaction. And we would suggest that money and valuing yourself, look in that arena. Wait a minute. I want to be valuable. I want to be valued for who I am. So the first step is always to be honest. Do I value myself, who I am? And what part of me doesn't? Like, did my child have trouble valuing herself? Was she an underachiever or an overachiever? Either way, you can still be, there can be a lack of value. As an adolescent, was it scary to be visible? Was it uncommon for people to listen? Like, did I feel invisible? We're not saying that's the true for you. We're just saying if it's there, to look in that arena. But we're the valuing yourself in today's society. There's a template at work around feminine energy has no value in the chauvinism. Each of you have been restoring that value within yourselves. And yet the chauvinism is still there. How can that be? I'm working on myself. I'm restoring it in myself. Why is it still out here? There are vestiges of chauvinism embedded in the language. So when you say you value yourself, then your subconscious says, oh, that's about money. That's about transactions. That's about earning your keep. That's about making sure you're worth it. There's all this stuff that the subconscious says, oh, do you mean this? Do you mean that? And so what's important is to take the time to redefine value and let money be a flow of energy that supports your value. Let the money be like a river that you just dip into when you want it, instead of having the money be the evidence of your value. Once you dissociate money and value, you can have as much money as you want, as long as you're building the valued self, the part of you that matters, the connection with soul, the part of you that knows that no matter what reality you create, you have worth that is given by God Goddess. And when you come from that foundation, things will be more fluid. You will be more gracious. You won't be anticipating being cheated. But I wasn't expecting to be cheated. I just got cheated. Yeah, but if you look deeper, you will find that there's a belief around being cheated, wherever that came from. Can be from the consensus, doesn't have to be from your own personal history. But if you look deeply enough, you will see that, okay, so what's important about being cheated? What are the emotions I get to feel? I get to be resentful, and then resentful, I get to be angry. And then when I'm angry, I feel guilty. And when I feel guilty, I don't even want to feel anything else. I'm just going to be angry. So you see, when you have something come at you, also look at what did I get to feel? And do I want to keep feeling that feeling, or do I want to make peace with it and choose to feel differently? Well, how can I feel any differently? It's what happened. It happened that one time. The next time you have a transaction, how do you want to feel? Segment and 10 beforehand. Say, I'm going to go into that shop. If you have a shop yourself, I'm going to sell this item, and I'm going to appreciate how that person's eyes light up. I'm going to appreciate the quality of the person I'm interacting with. The transaction is neither here nor there. It's about relationships. It's about how much fun it is to relate to people, to find out more about them, to share more of myself. Now, you may be cringing if this is not who you are. If you don't like people, then the transaction is much more comfortable. But if you're a people person, then you know what we're talking about. That the joy of life occurs in relationship. And that means being open to the new that you observe and acknowledging it. Oh my gosh, you're such a nice person. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect you to be so gracious. Thank you. So you have a different conversation in a higher resonance when you anticipate, you segment intend a positive outcome, than when you're unconscious, haven't decided what you're going to create, and you step through the door and it is what it is. It's whatever your default is. And if your default is one you don't like, then you want to work on that and change the default, or just be more conscious and segment intent. Say, no, I'm going to go shopping and I want to have a positive experience. So I'm going to take some time, just 30 seconds, to call my higher self, to feel the love that is there for me automatically, to feel that presence of my higher self around me, and to remember my resonance precedes me. The love and the light that I am precedes me. And when I enter a space, I'm going to hold that resonance. And I'm going to look for the difference I'm making. And you will have a different experience. Does that help?
Wonderful. So wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, we love you so.
It's
We're
awesome.
right on track,
Thank you.
you know. And as we were
Yes, you
saying,
are.
that boundary of belief is what will push you back, meaning like a rubber band, like an image rubber band. When you expand your image, and then your rubber band slaps you right back into who you were before, kind of as a test. But it's usually because there's something there that has to be cleaned up. So as you reach for what you want, what pops up is what's not a resonant match. And then, oh, okay, that doesn't fit anymore. I think I can be done with that. Higher self, help me. See, do I need to forgive something? Do I need to release something? do I need to work with my child, my adolescent? And you just work with your higher self on what's needed right now so that you can move forward into that new energy.
Awesome. Thank
All
you.
right. Wonderful. We love you so. All right, John, who is next? And also tell us what time. We may postpone till next time.
Henry's next. It is 6:41.
All right. So we can speak with,
6:44.
and who's after Henry?
Jessica and Melissa.
And are they both here?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're going to try to finish by 7. So each of you won't get a huge amount of time. If you want more time, postpone your question till next week. Otherwise, we're happy to talk with each of you. There's been so much wonderful information in these prior conversations. There's, in a way, you're all saturated already, but we do want to give you the chance to speak if it's important to you. So, Henry, go ahead.
Yes, there has been incredible information tonight. Thank you so much, Tara. In meditation, I got so much about light, and I got given selenite and joy with a child, and a dragonfly and a hummingbird. And today in the pool, I asked for a dragonfly, and I asked in exactly the right way, which is in between too much and too little, and there the dragonfly came, and so it just lifted me into joy so much. And so it was all about joy and light, and really wonderful. And I've had some great things happening over the last few days, and I also have been having really kind of brutal mornings. And I went and listened to a Lazarus personal tape, and he said, I'd kind of forgotten. He said it's all about boundaries with me. Really, it comes down to, if I love, I lose my will, and therefore I don't want to. I lose my sense of self, and so I wanted to pull back from that. And it's much safer to go into the pain. I mentioned the headline of it one time. It's safer to go into the pain because then I know who I am. I have a sense of who I am, and I just been seeing that's been so strong with my. I guess it's coming up because it needs to be changed, but it's so strong with my child and adolescent, with my lesser really, that. I've been going into hours of I'm not going to do what anybody tells me. I'm going to just go do this, and this will just this is the end of it if I do this, because I shouldn't do this. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. Why am I doing this? And why can't I change it? And then you were talking about, with Helen about the yes, I can exit. The child thinking, yes, I can exit and then re-enter when I want to. And the feeling I'm getting in the morning is that I'm just going to exit. But then, I don't want to die. I can't die. But I just feel this exit, and I'm just thinking, is that the same as you were talking to Helen, and I do manage to get out of it eventually during the day by doing some routine things, and then thinking, all right, I'll do something a bit different. And today I had a couple of wonderful conversations, and somebody was talking about my photographs and on the boardwalk, who sells art, and he said, you've got to print these, I'll sell them for you on the boardwalk. So there's a resistance gone. And a lot of things like that, but it just feels desperate.
So we'll give you something to do this week, around this morning exercise of lifting out.
Yeah. So
rather than just lifting out willy-nilly as though you're leaving the earth plane forever, we want you to have a goal. Oh, this time when I lift out, I'm going to find myself in the temple of soul, or I'm going to find myself in the imaginal realm, or I'm going to find myself in beauty. Something specific, intentional.
Yeah.
So, and if you've already lifted out and you're like, oh my gosh, I've lifted out again, I'm getting that feeling of drifting off. Where do I want to go? Be
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
and choose, and then let your higher self take you there and spend a few moments there, or however long you normally let yourself drift off. And then when you come back, you're bringing back resonances from where you have been.
Mm.
So if you go to Temple of Soul, you bring more soul back with you. If you go to beauty, you bring more beauty back with you, and so on and so on. And so, and then as you drift back into your body, just take a moment and let your resonance fill every cell with what you brought back.
Mm.
And then open your eyes and get up and go about your day. And at the end of the day, measure. Wonder what I saw of beauty. Wonder what I noticed of imagination or soul. And just let us know how that goes.
Yes. All right. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
The
And we
problem is I get
congratulate
into
you
my
on
sleep.
all the joy that you are creating.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, we love you so.
Thank you so much, Tara.
All
I love you.
right. And we thank you for that. All right, John, is Jessica next?
Jessica is next.
Can she unmute?
Ah, she's there. Jessica. Oh, actually, maybe that's wrong. Jessica. I don't know. Is that the Jessica we meant?
That's all right. If she's not answering, then we'll go on to Melissa.
Okay.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
Well, I could wait till next week if you both need to get off the phone and rest. I feel bad.
You shouldn't feel bad, but if you would like a lot more time with us, then next week will be better.
Okay, so I guess I just want to ask a quick question about one thing to help.
All right.
Is that okay? Okay.
Of course.
I got a lot of value out of what Christina said about you what you shared with Christina about money and value, because that's something I went through in business. So since we talked last, I want to thank you. I did that astrocartography reading. And then I paid for a second one because I felt like the first one wasn't deep enough. So I went to a different person, got value out of that. And I did go to Arizona and check it out. And now we're in Florida. And, but she hasn't sent me my recording. So I'm like, okay, there's two different people I got readings from on this. And I expected, I intended, and yet I guess I'm not satisfied with the value I expected in what I thought I would receive and what for what I paid. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And it's two of the same things. I've never really had that like disappointment really in when I work with a reader. So I'm just like, what is that about? Like that's is it that maybe I just need to throw the whole astrocartography thing out the window and just trust myself I'm going to pick the right place? And I'm in Florida right now, and I went here to face the people that I was hurt with, one of them a family member, and it just forgave them. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm just not doing this anymore. Like I don't want to. So now I'm like, well, like I have no charge with these people I thought I would have a charge with when I came back here. So I'm almost like, okay, well, what's next? You know, like what, like I'm, so just anything that could help me with that. I don't know if it's making sense what I'm saying.
Yes. All right. So there's a lack of choosing what you want to create next, is what we sense. So it would be nice for someone else to be responsible for your next step. in case you choose wrong. So as you let in, you cannot choose wrong. What you want to do though is to have more confidence, is to spend a little bit of time with your higher self and your soul to really speak to what matters to me, and to even write out some of those qualities if you like to write. So you would write out what were the qualities of the me that I'm becoming that matter to me now, not the me that was 5 years ago, not the me that was in Idaho, but right here, right now. This is what I'm focused on creating more of. Might be success and fun. Those are priorities for all of you map maker magicians. Consciously creating success and learning to have fun. In addition, being loving, having more joy, being prosperous. For some of you, philanthropy shows up, wanting to make a difference, leave a legacy. For you, being in the real estate business, making a difference in your community might be part of that. Being connected to earth consciousness, to be a co-creator. So we're just giving you some ideas, but as you focus in on the ones that matter to you, and in partnership with Donald, if he's a part of the business part.
He's here, by the way. Yeah.
And also in your relationship with him, 2 different lists you see. Even if he's a part of the business, it's a 2 different lists. There's your relationship and there's your business, even if he's part of both. And what will happen is you will find there are themes. Well, this matters to me here, and it matters to me here. This matters to me here, and it matters to me here. We want you to emphasize those things in your life. That's where your path of elegance and ease will be. When you make decisions, when those are all met, the ones that are the same in both, there will be many that are different because you're complex, because you have nuances, you have different identities in different scenarios. But as you let the qualities that are consistent be priorities in your next choice. If we live here, do we meet these qualities? Yes, we do. If it's a yes, then okay, if we choose to live in this area, or if we have a house, or if we rent, or if we choose a beach apartment instead, or whatever it is, do they meet these qualities, these primary 3 to 4 things? And what else does it meet? That will help you make decisions. Because you do know you create it all.
Yeah.
And that can become very broad. But I can create anything. Then you have 3 really good choices to choose from. How do I choose? So we want you to align the choice with something that matters to you, because mattering is about soul. And when
I think
in alignment, there's elegance and ease. Go ahead.
No, that's what came up is like, I went to Idaho to kind of heal and all that. And I came here because I have things to take care of in Florida. And now I'm like, well, I could go anywhere. And I think that's what kind of like, I feel free.
Yes.
More free than I've ever felt. Like I see these things happening. And so I'm like, I should have reasons, So, but it's okay to have reasons, like priorities that matter to me. That's a good way to look at it.
Priorities are different than reasons. Priorities are priority.
Yeah.
They are primary to you.
Like a preference. I can have my preferences now.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. We love you so.
And I love hearing your voice, John. I'm glad that you're back.
You're welcome, Melissa.
He is making his way back into the fun.
Yes.
All right. And so we go for now. Unless Jessica is here, then we will wait.
No, Jessica's there, but she's not picking up.
That's all right. We'll catch her next time. All right. And so to each and every one of you, the depth of today, so beautiful. We honor each of you who shared with the group. You represent the resonances that are at work, and you can see how much complexity is at work in each of you. I don't know where to go. I'm at a loss. That was a common theme because of the complexity. And yet, within it, that connection with your higher self, with your soul, will always lead you to your next step. Working with the optimal future self, letting dominion be a possibility, free of the chauvinism, free of domination. That is what you are creating together. That is the future that is assured. All right. And on that note, we go for now. We go with love and peace to each of you. As we bring Katrina back, we go with love and peace. Until next time.
Thank you. It was
Thank
interesting.
you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all.
Good work.
Thank you very much, Dara
You're
and,
welcome. Lots
and
of love.
Katharina.
Yep.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Right.
I'm fighting, John.
Thank you.
Thanks
And
to all of
John,
you.
Bye.
welcome back.
All right. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Oh, Carol, if you're still there, astrocartography. Let me type it.
I fell asleep. I can't believe it.
Can we get you next time?
I needed so much help now, and next time will be well.
Well, there was a whole lot of good stuff in the Q&A.
Yes, there
so
was.
I'll get the
There was-
recording up.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay. Thank you.
There we go. All right, Jessica. Lots of love.
Thank you.
All right, Carol, if she's still here, she might not be. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you next time.